Welcome back to another debriefing. Yes, we've been away for a while. Check out our community section to learn why and what we have planned next. As an ardent animal lover, this was a difficult piece to put together, but felt we had to show the wreckage, pain, and misery it's caused. Please subscribe and like. The collapse Tuesday of the Nova Kakhovka dam in southern Ukraine, widely believed to have been deliberately blown up by Russia in a desperate bid to impede Ukraine's counteroffensive, has had a devastating impact on the local population, including their pets and other animals. The destruction of the dam caused a massive flood in the Ukrainian city of Kakhovka, leading to the death of hundreds of animals and leaving thousands more trapped in the floodwaters. The Soviet-era dam collapsed early Tuesday morning, prompting mass evacuations and fears of widespread devastation, which it has indeed caused. Oleksandr Todorchuk, founder of the Ukrainian animal welfare charity UAnimals, told Newsweek that Russian President Vladimir Putin is responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of animals in the flooding. It's really ecocide that the Russian army committed in Ukraine, the 35-year-old Ukrainian soldier said, who is coordinating rescue missions to evacuate trapped animals as water levels have risen in the partially occupied Kherson region. The exact number of animals affected is difficult to ascertain, but Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stated that thousands and thousands of animals were trapped due to the flooding. The Ukrainian Environmental Ministry said the dam's collapse will likely kill hundreds of rare animals and plant species. Deputy Minister of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources, Oleksandr Todorchuk, said this is the biggest ecocide in Ukraine since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. Olena Nevrodska, owner of the Kakhovka Dubrovo Zoo, estimated that about 300 animals died in the zoo alone due to the flooding, despite the efforts to rescue them. It's been reported that only ducks and swans survived. The area affected by the flood is expansive and incomprehensible, with the flood waters reaching the city of Kherson, nearly 40 miles downstream from the dam. In response to this crisis, rescue workers are scrambling to save the trapped animals, many of which were abandoned by their owners who had to flee the floodwaters. The dam collapse has caused significant distress for the residents of Kherson and their pets. Nadia Chernyshova, a 65-year-old retiree, was one of the hundreds evacuated by Ukrainian authorities from her flooded home in Kherson. She was only able to bring 2 suitcases and her cat, Sonechka, who had never been outside before. The floodwaters spread across several blocks and into the center of the city, cutting off some areas entirely. More than 1,200 people were evacuated from the Karabel district alone on the day of the flood. The rescue operation has become increasingly challenging as the floodwaters continue to rise. Initially, cars and trucks were used for evacuation, but as the water level increased, boats became necessary. About 8 boats of various types were used to evacuate people and a large number of cats and dogs from the area. The animals were in obvious distress, howling and meowing during the operations to save them. Some areas that were initially accessible on foot became submerged underwater, with some locations flooded up to 4 meters deep. Despite the ongoing conflict and the sound of artillery fire, the Ukrainian government has promised that search and rescue operations will continue. The interim Interior Minister stated rescue teams have the necessary protective equipment to continue their work, even amidst the shelling. In conclusion, the dam collapse in Ukraine has had a profound impact on the local population and their pets. Untold numbers, perhaps in the thousands, of animals have been killed, and thousands more have been trapped or displaced due to the flood. Until next time, take care, be safe, and frosty out there.
Давайте. Так я можу потягати. Може боком якось поставимо, так? Давайте боком її поставимо, щоб люди могли вийти.
Люня, може каталку підкатити? Чуєш?
Вона мотає на кардан.
Каталку тащиш?
Що?
На каталку її?
Ходячка. Це мотор, аккуратно. Так, бабулечка, давайте до нас. Все, фіксируйте. Давайте.
Ми по молочко до вас.
Ідіть сюди.
Тише, Тоша. О,
Попийте, нате, ідіть.
дивіться гостинницю
Воно у
вам.
вас і соски п'ють, чи то?
Та вони так п'ють.
Воно тепле це все.
Тепло.
Та це тепле ще, а тут так холодно. Пийте.
Дочка в отпуск з того приїде, як би вона побачила. З Харкова.
Тоша, не балуйся, ти ж в гостях.
Ви дорогу знаєте, прибігайте сюди.
А я завтра поїду.
Друзі мої, це Мар'їнське, Дніпропетровська область. Ось такі, друзі мої, масштаби сучасної трагедії, сучасної України. Якось так.